The country's economy is in safe hands, and that our economy is resilient, and that despite the external events that are taking place, our economy is still sound and strong. In many countries, there are shortages of petroleum products. Even in the United States of America, a liter of fuel was $2.98 just before the war. Today, that same fuel is about 4 cents. It means it has more than doubled. In Ghana, because of the resilience of our economy, our currency is stable, inflation is stable. We've been able to manage the petroleum prices so that we cushion our citizens and prevent inflation from going back up to the levels that we came to meet it. When we came into office, inflation was running above 24%. That inflation has been brought down to under 4%, and we intend to keep it like that. We have done this by just being fiscally disciplined. As you are aware, because of the debt default, Ghana was shut out of the international capital market. And so we are not able to go onto the international credit market to take any loans. Indeed, until this administration, I didn't believe that we could do some of the things we are doing using our own money. When the road minister was talking, he explained the huge number of roads that we're working on, mainly the highways linking regions to regions and regional capitals to districts. Today, we have 2,000 kilometers of roads ongoing at the same time.
The National Service Authority, NSA, has reduced its annual payroll from about 1.6 billion Ghana cedis to 700 million Ghana cedis following the introduction of tighter verification systems.
Deputy Director General of the NSA, Lieutenant Colonel Moses Doknach Bengu, disclosed that the authority has strengthened its payment processes to ensure that only duly verified personnel receive allowances. He explained that the new system is designed to eliminate irregular payments, particularly those linked to ghost names, by enforcing stricter checks before disbursements are made. According to Lieutenant Colonel Bengu, the significant savings were achieved not by reducing the number of service personnel deployed across the country, but by tightening controls around how monthly allowances are processed. He noted that under the new revised regime, every national service person must undergo a monthly evaluation, which must be duly endorsed by a supervisor at their place of posting before payment is approved. The Deputy Director General stressed that measures reflect the NSA's renewed commitment to fiscal discipline and value for money. Previously, the payroll of the government was about 1.5 to 1.6 billion every year. As of last year, we paid barely about 700 million Ghana cedis, he said in an interview with Joy FM. The development comes amid ongoing legal proceedings involving former NSA Director General Osei Asibe Entry and his deputy Gifty Owari Mensah over allegations of ghost names on the authority's payroll. The alleged scheme involves 9,934 non-existent national service personnel, with prosecutors indicating that the infractions may have caused the state losses exceeding 38 million Ghana cedis. Lieutenant Colonel Bengu further revealed that the authority has cleared most arrears owed to service personnel, with only 1 month March outstanding, adding that processes are underway to settle the remaining payments.
The Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim, has disclosed that the Human Sexual Rights and Family Bill, widely referred to as the Anti-LGBTQ+ Bill, is progressing through parliamentary processes and is currently before the Constitutional and Legal Committee for consideration.
According to him, the committee will meet on Thursday, April 23, to deliberate on the bill. His comments come amid renewed public debate over the bill, with some clergy groups reportedly planning demonstrations over delays in its passage and presidential assent. Speaking during the Government Accountability Series on Monday, April 20, 2026, Mr. Ibrahim gave a detailed account of the legislative process leading to a bill's approval in Parliament, stressing that it was a private member's initiative rather than an executive bill. He argued that attempts to politicize the bill would not succeed, insisting that the process had already moved beyond partisan control. Mr. Ibrahim also cautioned against dragging the president into the controversy surrounding the bill, adding that the executive played no role in its introduction. He disclosed that the Constitutional and Legal Committee is scheduled to meet on April 23 to continue work on the legislation. According to him, the committee will meet on Thursday, April 23, to deliberate on the bill. His comments come amid renewed public debate over the bill, with some clergy groups reportedly planning demonstrations over delays in its passage and presidential assent. Speaking during the Government Accountability Series on Monday, April 20, 2026, Mr. Ibrahim gave a detailed account of the legislative process leading to a bill's approval in Parliament, stressing that it was a private member's initiative rather than an executive bill. He argued that attempts to politicize the bill would not succeed, insisting that the process had already moved beyond partisan control. Mr. Ibrahim also cautioned against dragging the president into the controversy surrounding the bill, adding that the executive played no role in its introduction. He disclosed that the Constitutional and Legal Committee is scheduled to meet on April 23 to continue work on the legislation.
The Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim, has disclosed that only 362 million Ghana cedis was released to metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies throughout the 2024 by the District Assemblies Common Fund.
However, the minister indicated that the situation improved remarkably in 2025, with a total of 5 billion Ghana cedis disbursed to assemblies across the country. Speaking at the Government Accountability Series on Monday, April 20, the local government minister gave a structured quarterly distribution aimed at ensuring consistency and predictability in funding. In the first quarter, 790,372,058 cedis 40 pesos was released, followed by 1,464,983,309 cedis 60 pesos in the second quarter. The third quarter recorded 1,188,921,640 cedis 80 pesos, while the fourth quarter saw the highest allocation of 1,592,706,391 Ghana cedis 20 pesos. The minister explained that the increased and timely release of funds was tied to specific development obligations expected of all MMDAs.
The ministry facilitated the transfer of all the 4 quarters of the District Assembly Common Fund for 2025. First quarter was paid, second quarter was paid, third quarter was paid, and fourth quarter was paid. We are in the first quarter 2025, and we are working to release the first quarter 2025. This is why 2026. This is why the former administrator of the District Assembly Common Fund was voicing out her frustration that the MPP as a government did not take decentralization serious. They were not, the finance ministers, the 2 finance ministers were not releasing the money. And I can testify. I was in Parliament on 3 occasions. Whenever Ken Ofori-Atta was to bring a budget to Parliament, I, as a member of the leadership of the Parliament at that time, I will go to him without releasing the money. We are the people's representatives. Without releasing the money to the district assemblies, we are not going to sit for you to present a budget. We gave you a budget. You have to show us the performance of that budget before you come with new budget. It happened not once, not twice, not thrice, on many occasions. And brothers and sisters, join me to thank the President of His Excellency, the President of the Republic, and the distinguished Minister for Finance. For the 4 quarters, I have never even granted a radio discussion.
Moving on, local government Minister Ahmed Ibrahim has revealed that all 990 assembly members across the country receive monthly allowances of over 1,000 Ghana cedis between April and December 2025, marking what he described as a major step in recognizing and motivating grassroots leadership.
According to him, the payments were in line with a directive by President John Dramani Mahama, who approved a monthly allowance of 1,300 Ghana cedis for each assembly member. Speaking at the Government Accountability Series in Accra on Monday, April 20, he explained that although the approved amount was 1,300 Ghana cedis, deductions such as taxes meant that each member ultimately received slightly above 1,000 Ghana cedis. Ibrahim noted that since Ghana began practicing decentralization in 1988, assembly members had largely gone unrecognized with little motivation or financial support despite their critical role in local governance. He stressed that the introduction of the allowance represents a turning point, particularly under the leadership of President Mahama, who he said understands the importance of empowering local government actors. The minister further disclosed that government is preparing to pay allowances for the first quarter of 2026, expressing confidence that the policy will be sustained. He added that having successfully implemented the payments in 2025, the government remains committed to continuing the initiative in 2026 to ensure assembly members remain motivated to carry out their duties effectively.
Pay modest allowances to assembly members for over 30-something years since 1988. That we started practicing decentralization. Assembly members were not recognized. They were not respected. They were not motivated. Since one of them became a president of the country, President John Dramani Mahama said every assembly member must be paid an allowance of 1,300 Ghana cedis. And we have 9,090 assembly members in the country. All the 9,090 assembly members were paid 1,300 Ghana cedis, and out of this it was taxed. So when you take the tax component of it, every assembly was paid an allowance of more than 1,000 Ghana cedis for all the months in 2025 from April to December. We are now planning to pay the first quarter of 2026, and once the president was able to do it in 2025, in 2026 he would do it.
Also, a fire outbreak at the Kumasi New KJTR market has caused significant damage to goods at a retail shop on the first floor before it was brought under control by the Ghana National Fire Service, GNFS.
According to a post shared on Facebook by the service, the fire affected shop F2230 and resulted in extensive smoke damage to stock, including hundreds of boxes of matches and other flammable retail items. 9 firefighters, led by Station Officer 1 Maxwell Pate, arrived at the scene within 2 minutes of receiving a distress call. On arrival, they were met with thick smoke emanating from the shop, prompting an immediate response to prevent the fire from spreading further. The firefighters deployed portable extinguishers and used the market's installed hose reel system to bring the situation under control. The fire was contained at about 8:48 a.m. and fully extinguished by 9 o'clock a.m. Despite the swift response, the shop recorded notable losses. Items destroyed or damaged include around 250 boxes of matches, nail polish chemicals, and 10 deodorant containers. Officials said the damage was mainly due to smoke and heat exposure.
We will go for a break and be back with business. Stay tuned.
day on Ghana's roads, thousands of riders take to the streets to earn a living. But in just a few seconds, one mistake can change a life forever. Motorcycle crashes are rising, and riders remain among the most vulnerable road users. The truth is, many of these accidents can be prevented.
Ride safe, check your bike, wear your helmet, overtake wisely, obey the rules, get licensed with DVLA and register with PCSRC.
With discipline, with training, and with respect for road safety. Soon on MBN TV, you would hear real stories, real lessons, and real solutions.
You are the hero for your family and your passengers. Your life matters. Stay in the game. Stay alive. Join the Ride for Life campaign, spearheaded by MBN TV.
Starting with business, passenger arrivals at the Kotoka International Airport increased by 8.7% in year-on-year terms on 110 and 87 in January 2026, as the Bank of Ghana has disclosed in March 2026 monetary policy report.
This is up from 101,237 arrivals recorded a year ago. However, compared to a month earlier, passenger arrivals recorded at the international airport and the land borders went down by 18.9%. Meanwhile, international trade at the country's two main harbors, Tema and Takoradi, as measured by laden container traffic for inbound and outbound containers, improved during the period under review. Total container traffic increased by 13.6% year-on-year to 74,508 in January 2026, up from 65,594 recorded for a similar period in 2025. On a month-on-month basis, total container traffic declined by 9.8% when compared to 82,624 recorded in December 2025.
We will go for a break. We'll be back with sports.
How can we some look fast? Baba, me again. Let's go. Yale. Me quite remember who hear me. Meant me and sent my friend doctor when I'm cross over. See what we swear. She has malaria. Malaria. Oh, what they say with the router? Me copy the absence here. A drone a friend router mix. Yeah, come on, let it do. And running router. So. Gaftrap and the draw crew abaso body assay. Wabo Ruta mixture abaso. Ruta natural products and one Ruta mixture. Yeah, the kutia a treat. Ruta tonic and the Ruta life for. And who a finish like the bunny. A finipedium. Nasa support immune system. Ruta de Obiasia. FDA. I did drinking crap to yatu.
In the world of sports, Ghana's first female world boxing champion, Abigail Quartey, has announced that she is now a free agent and seeking a new manager and promoter to guide the next phase of her career.
The 29-year-old super bantamweight, who made history in November 2024, revealed in a statement that she's currently without representation despite holding a world title. Quartey edged her name into Ghana's sporting history by defeating British opponent Sangita Berdy to win the Women's International Boxing Federation Super Bantamweight title. She became the country's first female world boxing champion and the 11th world title holder overall. However, despite her historic success, Quartey has yet to defend her title since winning the belt. The title-winning bout was promoted by Alex Ntiamwa, CEO of Box Office Sports Promotions, but Quartey now appears ready to take a new direction as she seeks a team that can match her ambitions.
In our world of entertainment, the team led for Image Bureau, George Quay, has appealed to authorities to delay unplanned closure of the National Theatre for renovation.
He has suggested that alternative venues must first be available. Speaking in an interview with Kwame Dazi on Joy FM's Showbiz A to Z, George Quay said although the renovation is necessary, shutting down the facility at this time will adversely affect the entertainment industry. If we shut the National Theatre down, where do we go, especially for those of us who practices there? He asked. When asked how renovation could proceed without closure, he said, if you shut down the National Theatre, it's like shutting down the whole sector. Someone like Lateef, that's his place at the AICC. It has more seating spaces than the National Theatre. But if that has been shut down, where is someone like Lateef going to stage his plays? He further explained that alternative venues are either unsuitable or too costly for commercial theatre productions.
If we shut the National Theatre down as well for renovations, which is very, very important as well, where are we going to stage our plays, really? Because you don't have the, let's be frank, the art center is not really convenient for the kind of commercial theatre we're doing now. You cannot do a theatre show conveniently at the College of Physicians and Surgeons. Neither can you do a theatre show conveniently at the UPSA auditorium. The challenges and the cost implications will be mind-blowing. We cannot bear them. We are barely even breaking even at our theatre shows. So I would beg, plead, implore the tourism minister that if they can hold on with the renovation, we're shutting down the National Theatre now for renovations, they should. I agree it is important, it must be done, but at this point where we are, with Grand Arena gone, Conference Center, main auditorium shut down, State House Banquet Hall not in action, and the drama studio at the School of Performing Arts, University of Ghana, Legon, has been abandoned. In between the university authorities itself and the GET Fund, I do not know who to hold responsible for that abandonment, but it's definitely one of them. You understand? So I honestly do not know what's going to happen if the National Theatre should also be shut down now for renovations, unless we are saying as a country that, okay, let's shut down this entire industry and give it some time until we're back. It's probably the best time to also consider finishing the drama studio at the University of Ghana. It's been abandoned for over 24 years. Why? It is about time, because Kwame, if that auditorium were available, if that auditorium were active, we probably wouldn't even be having this conversation about renovating the theatre.
On the international front, the U.S. has intercepted an Iranian flag cargo shipped in the Gulf of part of the naval blockade, Donald Trump has said.
The U.S. president wrote on his Truth Social platform that the Tosca was seized by the U.S. Navy after failing to respond to a warning to stop. Iran said it was a violation of the ceasefire and it would retaliate soon for the act of armed piracy. The announcement came after the White House confirmed U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance would lead another delegation for a second round of talks on ending the war with Iran in Pakistan. Tehran has not yet confirmed its attendance. Iranian state media has reported that officials will not participate while the U.S. blockade remains in place. Today, an Iranian-flagged cargo ship named Torska, nearly 900 feet long and weighing almost as much as an aircraft carrier, tried to get past our naval blockade, and it did not go well for them, Trump wrote.
And that's the 6 p.m. news. Here are some of the stories making headlines.
President Mahama vows to keep inflation in single digits after sharp decline. In business, arrivals declined 18.9% month-on-month to 110,087 in January 2026. And on the international front, U.S. releases video of forces seizing Iranian ship.
My name is Nadi Degugu. Have a good evening.